We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
You're listening to Saucepans and Sidesteps.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Saucepans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, Mr. Hugh Griffin, and our man in the ground, Bengie. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Good evening. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, good. It's pandemonium in this house at the moment, Mark.
What's going on?
Because we're recording on this on the 6th of January, which means that the Christmas decorations are currently coming down.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bit
They
late,
should be
mind.
done a few days ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are times in a relationship where you have to step up and be counted, and there are times in a relationship where you just have to get out of the way. And currently I'm getting out of the way whilst the Christmas decorations are coming down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you boys, but we always go for the real Christmas tree. And I've got this, what looks at about, it looks about 12 foot. It's probably closer to 8. It really is closer to 8. But I'm just looking at it now, and I've got to sew that thing in damn off and get it down to the tip. I'm not looking forward to doing it. I meant to do it on Saturday. I've been pushing it off. I'm literally in trouble.
Does your local council not pick it up then? Some councils do.
No, I'm outside of where I live.
Mm.
The village boundary. Then there's like literally nothing. Our little estate is literally, there's about 15 houses here, and then just nothing for about 3 miles. So we're really not in thing with anyone. Like, we don't have bin collections. We don't we got to do all that ourselves, which is really foreign for me. But
oh, okay.
It is what it is. So,
yeah.
quite honestly,
Get that tip in.
I wouldn't fancy dragging that thing around to the main road anyway.
I've only ever had one real Christmas tree, or never again. It took me I didn't take it down till February because I just couldn't be bothered. I literally left it up. I took everything off it. I just left it there. I was like, better sort it up. Let's put it in the garden waste.
When we got this house, the people who had the house before us had planted one of their Christmas trees in the back garden. And so there was like just a pine there growing in the middle of nowhere. And it was like one of the first things we got rid of as soon as we moved in.
How was it growing though?
It can grow for like 3 years afterwards.
Can it?
Like, yeah.
Without roots on it?
But they grow the roots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not dead. When they're in your tree.
I literally thought like you'd have to like, I don't know.
No, you water it daily or however big your actual pot is.
Yeah.
No, mine
I just thought if you take the roots away, it was not going to grow.
No, it's a big living thing.
I learned something new. I'm not learning anything about rugby. I'm learning about Christmas trees. Yeah,
it's the same with flowers. You cut them off before they go in the water because it can still over. You don't just roots. Okay, I think we should move on from this.
Yeah. I'm going down the rabbit hole now. We should have talked this before the podcast, not like during. But
yeah, so. I mean, there wasn't a rugby match this past weekend, but there has been a game since our last podcast, and that was on New Year's Day. And as I predicted in our giveaway, it was a bit of a massacre for 50 minutes. We did absolutely destroy them. And to be honest, I don't really think we got out of third gear, which was brilliant. So, Hugh, I'm assuming you've got loads of stats for us, or are we going to wait for this?
Do Ben first, because he was actually there.
Oh, go on then, Ben. What was it like in the ground? Like, we've seen the big video.
Yeah.
30,000 people there, obviously.
There's a few clips, a few videos I wish I took because, you're there. There was like music going and I just didn't think to film it. But there was good atmosphere down there. There was quite a few Dragons fans, they did come down. But yeah, I think a few people just turned to them and like, we feel so sorry for you. It just... They've just got nothing to be positive about. Yeah, we were like, we stand in the North Stand, and there's quite a few Dragons fans around us, and they were saying the only thing that good they've got is Rio Dyer, and I kind of Yeah, and then he had that one break. But there was one fan who was literally having to go at Sam Costello for everything he did on that pitch. Clearly a Dragons fan. And yeah, so I think the Scarlets fans turned on real dire then. So yeah, it was good atmosphere down there though. Bit of banter, you know. You got to have a bit of banter when you're there. Um, yeah, it was good atmosphere, but game wise, there was a lot of that game I don't know, after half time, everyone there was like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion now. You know, we're gonna win by 50 points. And then we just took the foot off the gas again, and we just let them back in. And I think the morale went down in the stadium, which isn't, something we like to see. But otherwise, good atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've spoken, obviously with Bruce or whatever, that it is the change of the halfbacks. It was like 47, 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Change the dynamic of the game.
Sam was a big change for, I thought, and I could see him, and I was watching the whole time because obviously you don't see as much on the telly do when you're watching players because they switch the cameras, whatever. I was watching Sam, and he was just chasing every single player. He was making so many tackles, and there was that pass he created a try for Ellis Mee. There was a few times I was just thinking if we didn't have him on, he's just such a dynamic player, and people are still negative about him. So I don't understand.
I honestly, I don't think anyone
Understands him.
outside of West Wales
No.
realizes how good he actually is.
No.
He is our general. He is a proper general, and
I would die on that hill that he's our best. He's the best 10 in Wales.
We saw it last season when he came back from injury. He started playing. You saw a complete change in our entire backline in the way our forwards were organised. He is the man that does it all, and I love Johan Lloyd. I am really enjoying his progress at a 10, but to say he's even close to Costello at the minute,
yeah,
it's not even up for
the
debate.
Structure went as soon as he came on. I thought the structure went of what we were trying to play that that day, that defensive counter-attacking rugby, which I'm glad to see back, if I'm honest, because it reminds me of back in 2016, 17, when we were, as soon as you got like a sniff of that ball, it was offloaded left, right, center. And that first try, I thought, God, we're back here. This is awesome.
Shall I see if I can find it if you keep talking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say my stats, regarding the Sam thing is the when him and Cowder are obviously the top kickers in the game. I think they got like 10 and 12 each. When they went off, Archie's kicked the ball 3 times, and one of them was he just offloaded the ball to him. It's gone to his foot, so he's just kicked it. Johan Lloyd didn't kick the ball a single time when he came on, and I think Sam initiated a lot of kick duels. And to be fair, I thought the Dragons got the upper hand in some of the kick battles in terms of where the territory ended up being. But yeah, I think like you said, the organization came on, and I think it kind of sent the wrong message to the team as well. On 48 minutes to hook both your starting halfbacks, I think that just kind of said to the whole team like, oh, this is one. And I can understand. I would have been okay with just taking Cowder off and bringing Archie on, because we'll come on to that a bit later. Archie needs minutes, but I think taking Sam off as well. I think if Sam stays on, we're nudging 40 points scored in this game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And quite frankly, we could have probably done with Johan Lloyd coming on for Tom Rogers. Because for some reason,
I thought the same.
He doesn't seem to be able to last, more than 70 at the minute. He seems to have
that is a bit weird. He tends to cramp up on 60, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's like, obviously everyone hears rumours of what happens in Wales camp, but what I heard coming out of the autumn internationals is they did so much conditioning that the boys' bodies were knackered, and Tom really has still been a constant since then. So maybe he needs a fortnight, maybe longer off to recuperate his body. But then we're back into the same boat. I'm assuming he's going to be back in the Welsh squad for the Six Nations. Are they going to be on the ground running constantly again? So that's an issue in itself.
I've noticed with Tom, he has gone down quite a few times with cramp in the last 20 minutes. But he gives us all, man. He's so, I don't know. He's always given 100%, isn't he?
Yeah, like
So when he
Tom,
gets to that 60%, 60 minutes.
like what we're seeing from Tom right now is what I expected to see him from 3 years ago, when I expected him to start kicking on after the I can't remember where we went. He was doing the last Lions tour, and he had a good few caps for Wales, and I thought he's going to kick on really
We didn't go
properly.
anywhere. We played Argentina at home.
Well, there we go. That's close enough. But he got those first few caps. He looked good, and I honestly thought, okay, we're going to start seeing him pushing on. I thought, potentially he could be, a contender for the next Lions tour. But obviously, he's stalled massively over a couple of years. But he's picked right back up this season, which is amazing.
So if we look at this try, I saw someone commented that he kind of makes it out on the wing, where he's taken on a few players. By the way, I love that from Sammy. So the ball's turned over. Oh, it's going to do this hesitating thing again now. So the ball's turned over. Get the ball. And then Sam's the one who's called, let's go wide. Other stat about Sam in this game is he was the top meters maker for the Scarlets in the game with 61. That's not something we've seen from Sam for a long time. So I think these last two games, he is taking the ball on himself more, which he wasn't doing for a good year.
He's gaining confidence though, isn't he?
Yeah, since the World Cup, he was playing as a standing 10. And in his last couple of games, he's gone right. So this is Plumtree offloading there. And then Tom beats two men there and carries on. He should have been tackled a long time before he goes down. And obviously it's just simple after that. But Tom's kind of the one who turns that from a break into a try, really.
Done a few times this season, though. His dancing feet has, killed off two players, making the gap, offload, and people are through. So, yeah, he showed good this season, but I felt like last season he was giving away a lot of penalties, and he's gaining a lot of confidence, which I think for our team, I think that's what's been different this season.
Yeah, so there he goes. Beats one there, and then he's fought off. Yeah, he's fought off Aaron Wainwright there.
So it's not just that. I think somebody online picked this up. It's the way he transitions the ball between arms to get two fends past both players and get the offload. To do that in such a short space of time, that is high level skill. That's what we love to see. So
you look at his feet. His feet go one way to the other, making them guess.
I'm really sorry for any audio listeners, but we've got the try in front of us right here. And he's fended with the one arm there, and you transition now to fend off Wainwright. And then nice little offload.
Good handoff.
Johnny's done well as well here, to be fair. That should be recognised as well. Johnny's done well to execute
get
that.
The ball out.
Yeah.
I another one, Johnny Williams, who everyone is saying, form of his life. But I've seen playing, he won up carries. That's all he does. He makes a big game. Oh,
he doesn't, though.
Who's actually making these comments about watching these games?
For Wales, he has done that in the past. But that's obviously what he's been asked to do, because at the moment, for us, he's not doing that. He actually, I put it out on the Scarlets account during the game. He was a decision maker. He was being that when Sammy was carrying it, he was the one who was taking over, making the decisions.
What would be nice as a stat for Johnny is his passes to carry ratio. This last season compared to prior, because this year the way he's been bouncing between 12 and 13. Obviously we saw him play a little bit of 13 last season. He is now a top URC European player, if not higher, as a 12 and 13, which, quite frankly, we don't get a lot of anymore. His passing game, his vision, it is a hell of a lot better than what people give credit for. And I honestly think he is probably the form centre in Wales. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
You should get picked for Wales. Not that I want him to, but
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
For our benefit, isn't it?
We always say he should get picked for Wales, but then when they do get picked for Wales, we think, oh no,
we needed him. Damn it. Well, we got plenty of centres, so.
Oh, let's be honest. The way the centres are going right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see all three of ours go up.
Yeah.
And we're but that's a problem for another day, and hopefully one that won't happen.
Yeah.
So last season we couldn't pick many players, and this season we don't know what to do with the ones we've got. Which one are we going to
So
pick?
if you just show this one. So this was a try that we didn't score. So this is the one from the lousy break. And Johnny Williams is the only back to touch the ball in this. I think 3 second rows, because we had 3 second rows in the starting lineup. 3 second rows touch it, and only one back. So this is where Lousy goes through. And then Johnny's through there. And then it goes to Alex Craig. Great offload. And all he has to do is pass it to Marnus van der Merwe on his left, but because he's a second row, he thinks, oh, I'll just take it into contact. And then unfortunately the pass from Cowdell's not brilliant, and then the chance is gone. So I think that's another point, is that we left scores out there. I think 32-15. But
it was a reflection of the game.
We really didn't play for 35 minutes, which is unbelievable to think we won a game by 3 scores, and we can honestly say that. But
there's never any doubt, was there? We didn't at any point thought, right, Dragons are going to take this. But no. I was quite disappointed in the last 20.
Yeah,
we should have put away at least another 2 tries. It's almost like we had the bonus point try and thought, we got it now. We'll just park the bus.
We did the same thing against Zebra. Zebra, we just kind of got it and then stopped playing.
Yeah, that's not what the best teams do, do they? They carry on playing and make high scores. Which I hope we get to that point. That where we got the confidence to do that. But
yeah. This is what I'm loving about being a Scarlet again right now. We have got 5 points in the bag, 3-score victory, and we're just talking like this. There's more we can do.
We're still disappointed, yeah.
Yeah, this is what I love about being a Scarlet. You listen to the other 3, whatever they are, who cares what they are, and they're all the same. Oh, we've won the game. Yes, we were awesome, amazing. There we are. Well, we could have done this better. We should have had a few more scores. Could have used the bench better. We could do this. Like we want to improve. We're not happy with just winning and being where we are. I want to see us winning every single game, and that is until we hit that. I'm going to be happy, but I'm never going to be fully satisfied. You know what I mean?
We're still, I would say, at least 10 times better than last season. In every way. I'm still not 100% happy. I'm not leaving that stadium going, yeah, we left everything. We did everything we could. There's times I'm just like, the last 20 minutes, we could just turn them into ground, but we just don't do it. Don't know why, but yeah.
They know each other. Maybe they felt sorry for him. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. What other marvelous stats have we got? Or have we got any more videos to look through?
No, we've got videos and we'll talk about some players. I don't have that many stats. I kind of did my ones about Sam Costello. What I liked in this game is that we tried things and we took risks and we kind of had a go. And not everything came off. Maybe less than half of everything that we tried came off. Sam's 2 missed kicks a touch. The example, the 50-22 that just trickled the wrong side of the flag, and is missed touch. But the reason that those have not come off is because he's tried to get absolutely everything out of it. And I think it was the same for a lot of the team. Is that we've gone out there and we've tried things and we've tried to put on a performance and play some nice rugby. And it's like I said, it's not always worked, but I like that we're trying. I think that it's good that we're starting to see that, because the first kind of 10 games of the season, I think we were playing quite safe at times. It was nice in this game, but at the same time, I do think in this game, I do think that the biggest differential between the 2 teams was we had more individual quality in our side than them. I think if you take, because you said in the preview, Mark, if you took a composite team between the 2, it's not many Dragons getting into the Scarlets team, and I think that was the biggest thing. And I think the Dragons will be very disappointed with their performance in that first half, because they weren't great. It was a big step down from their performance against Cardiff on Boxing Day.
I did feel mine. Like that second half, I think if we were playing against a better team, we could have lost that.
Yeah. Well, playing against a better team, we don't have both our halfbacks. That's as simple as that. It's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is what we've seen in the other games. In there, we're not taking Cowdo off until like if we ever take him off at all, it's like 75th minute or something. Everyone's staying on to like the end because we know that they are safe players.
Yeah, I suppose if Dwayne's listened to this, and there's a chance that he does, because he does take our suggestions sometimes.
We love you, Dwayne.
He'll be thinking, God, every week you're telling me to use the subs more, and then when I do use the subs, you're hammering me. And so it is kind of a bit like, use the subs, Dwayne. No, not like that.
But I think with Archie, like you said, he needs more game time, but also I think he is. I don't know. Maybe we should start him and then bring Cowdo on as like a safe-ish player at the end. I don't know. Maybe there's a few selection changes we should make, but yeah, it's a good headache to have when you have to make a choice instead of who's left.
Mart, in this game, we had you're right there.
Yeah, I got someone pulling some funny faces at me across the room. Sorry.
Okay, so
that Christmas tree, is it?
Oh, Christ, don't say that.
Yeah. So the one player who had a better game than we've seen him have lately was Alec Hepburn on the loose head side. So 100% scrum success for the Scarlets again. And maybe on a different day, Hepburn does get pinged once or twice. But what did you make of his scrummaging performance in this game?
Best I've seen of him in our colours. It's as simple as that. I know the ref had a few words every now and then getting his elbow up, but we didn't lose a scrum with him on, which, quite frankly, I was really worried about. Even like speaking last week, I was thinking, he's up against our hip. I know our hip is getting on now, but he's still a very astute scrummager. I think that was the only change. When I was talking about a combined 15, that was the only battle I felt we lost. But in the actual game itself, he stood up well. He kept his shape for a lot of it. Fair play to the boy. He did his job, and that's what he's here for. And long may it continue with his best performance. I think, myself included, I can quite easily forget that we're only 9, 10, 11 games into his career down here. So that's still a very short space of time for him to get acclimatized, accustomed to everyone. So he's improving. He's getting to probably where he was when he was, getting selected internationally, which causes more headaches. But a few more tests to come before anything like that happens. But yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out on New Year's Day.
Cracking. So what other players stood out then?
Oh, what player didn't stand out? This was it was a pretty much all-round performance, and something we obviously mourned about last season was consistency, and 22 of the 23 from the previous game carried over. Only Blair Murray coming into the starting lineup, so
and he fired back on, didn't he? Murray was outstanding.
Yeah, so I know we've spoken about bottlenecking and opportunities for the youngsters, but having this core squad keeping going forward is it's a positive for us. And I'm expecting to see something very similar on this coming Friday night, but we'll get to that later.
Just hang on, Ben, did you say Marnus?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Marnus then.
Yeah.
Everyone says Marnus.
We love him. He's the best signing we've made this season, 100%.
Nephew Warthog. There's nothing quite like him.
He was
made
in everything, wasn't he? Everything.
He was. It was kind of watching it. It was kind of like, oh, it's Marnus again.
Yeah.
I
wish he scored that. That would be amazing.
I feel so annoyed for him that Craig didn't give that pass, because that was a gimme for him.
And there was one bit, I don't know if it'll be on this reel, but he gets away, and I think it was a knock on or something, and he just kept going, and he was like just bouncing all the Dragons players off him.
I nearly did have that in this reel.
Like, oh, he hasn't heard him. and he just kept
Camera angle
going.
didn't work, and he just kept smashing through people.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. This is something that we in Wales need to take on board more. He's South African. He's not massively bigger than everyone else. He's your average size for a
I'm
hooker.
pretty sure that Elias is bigger than him.
Yeah. So it's not about what size you have. It's what you do with it. It's that mental attitude. It should be that by the time boys hit under 14s, they start going into the dual shield. It's a case of it doesn't matter if these are your friends. You put your head on, you go as fast as you can every single bloody time. And I think that is a big mental gap we have in Wales. We don't offer the same sort of physicality, even though we have comparative size, and in some places we have even bigger size. It is a total mental issue. Like I've known boys growing up, 6'5", 18, 19 stone. You wouldn't give them a ball to carry because they're powder puffs. They just get walked over.
Well, look at Jack Morgan as an example. One of the smallest back rows in Wales, by far the best carrying back row
exactly
in the country, because he's just got the mindset of like, no, I'm doing this. Yeah, Mark, from a scrummaging point of view, do you think Marnus is adding anything in that department?
I don't think he adds as much as Elias because of Elias' sheer size, his width. The width of a hooker is, if you've got a wide hooker, you're absolutely loving it. So much easier of a base, especially for your second rows. At least I've always found in my experience. But Marnus he's a hefty bloke himself. He's not quite as big as Elias, but he is still that good. He is a good hooker size. When I love Sean Evans to pieces, but when it comes to scrum time, I see him in there. I get worried because it's just how the dynamics work in positionings. I don't think we lose anything when Marnus is on the pitch as compared to possibly other players. Hookers aren't generally talked about as scrummagers, but they do have an important job. You do attack that tight dead. That is your role. If you can't get your foot in there to hook, which, let's be honest, hasn't been a part of our game for almost 2 decades, probably even longer, you're digging your head into the tight dead as much as you can to try and make them pop up or you make a mistake. So having a player the physical size of Marnus and Elias, it's only good for that front row. It's only good for the scrum as a whole.
Is Elias out for a while? I don't know what his injury status is.
No, we don't really know.
I thought he was being rested for the game at first, and then he didn't turn up again on New Year's Day. So, I've got.
I don't think he was mentioned either in the the injury list that they put out.
Yeah, he's on the list, but he hasn't been in any of the press conferences.
No.
So.
They usually say, don't they, like, they'd be back in next training session or something, but they haven't said anything about him.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned right now that we probably won't see him, until
definitely won't see him Friday.
Until after the Six Nations, possibly 1 or 2, 4 weeks. But there we go. But it's exciting. It gives opportunities to other players, and I, for one, I'm excited to see Isaac Young if and when he gets the chance again. I've said multiple times, we've got a good few hookers in the academy. What I saw of Isaac Young last year in the Junior World Cup was a completely different player to what I'd seen before. He was so aggressive. It's like his mindset had completely changed. I'm really looking for. I know he's only 20, 21 now, but I'm really looking forward to seeing him in breaks in the future.
Can I talk about another player I thought stand out? Someone who I don't think we've spoken about at all this season yet. Sam Lousy.
Yeah,
was fully balling in this game. It's great to see him. Him and Fafita in this game reminded me of that Challenge Cup run we had to the semi-final and how they were playing it in that year. Just into everything. Go on, man.
I'm just saying he's the same as man. He was in everything, every single break we had. He was there.
Yeah,
I think we trust him in that sense. To me,
one thing I love about Sam Lousy is the way he plays. You could put him anywhere. Yeah. Like if we were in a position doing the Six Nations where 3 centres of ours went, I'd have no problem sticking him in a 12 jersey. I think he could do a job absolutely.
Yeah.
he is a pure beast. Long gone are the days where it was like, oh, is he going to get a yellow this game, a red this game?
Last season, I think he got like a yellow every other game. He was
He did
doing
get a yellow
something
in the game before
stupid.
this, to be fair.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Not every single, not every, but it was a worry his first 2 seasons here. Like he was a card risk. He's not anywhere near as much anymore, which is great for us. My only upset is he's into his 30s. I think he might be as old as me almost, which is really sad because my playing days died over a decade ago. I don't know how he's still going.
I will say that his turnover there, I'm sure it was legal, but it does because the Scarlets are normally the team that like the referees like when in doubt penalise them. And like I tweeted like the Blair Murray try, I think was the first try that we've had all season that didn't go to the TMO. But
it's always talked about in the stands. It always says, "Oh, what are they looking for now? What are they going to deny us? They're looking for something instead of just giving it to us and be like, have a look after." It's always the same.
But in this game, we were playing against a team that's even more that than us. So I think if we'd have been playing someone else, I think we'd have got penalised a bit more. And we still managed to have a discipline explosion in the second half. But I did feel a little bit for Dragons fans of like, God, they're getting no decisions at all. They're getting absolutely no decisions. Tane Plumtree probably should have had a red card. Let's be honest.
Let's not talk. Let's not talk about this game.
Yeah, he was a bit of a loose cannon in this game, I thought.
He was
full of beans when he
was when he was playing rugby, he was good, but he kept trying to do things that weren't rugby, that weren't so good. It was like someone had nudged him before the game and said, "Hey, Tane, apparently there's a Tane who plays for them who's really daft and does stupid things on the pitch." And Tane's gone, "I'm the stupidest Tane in Wales," and has gone out there and just tried to prove a point. And like I said, whenever he did do actually any rugby, it was good. Like he did this grubber at one point. He did this grubber kick that nearly led to a try. He's actually kicked twice in this game.
Off our 5 meter line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The ball was dropped and he smashed it and it went up to the 22.
Yeah.
He is good, like you said, when he's got the ball and he's looking for something, but yeah. Sometimes he's a bit like Lousy. Sometimes I think where we're like, oh, what's he gonna do now? Oh. Don't put your hands there. Oh, God.
So I think we're coming to the end on this one. But one thing we have seen a few times this season is a second row playing 6. So I think this was the third time Max Douglas has lined up at 6. So how are we feeling about this experiment going forward?
I'll say he play well.
Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it just means that we've got a bigger pack than them. And yeah, I think it works. I haven't seen, because we played this when we beat the Bulls as well, and that worked. So I'm fine with it. I don't think we've got a standout 6. I think we've got 2 7s, or whether they move Plumtree there. But I think for us, he's better at 8.
So they did experiment having Fafita and Plumtree on, didn't they? But it seems that we're getting away from that now. That we're using them as a replacement instead.
Yeah.
I mean, they are both exceptional talents, and they do put the fear of God into you when you see them coming onto the pitch with 25 left, which is brilliant having those options. But yeah, I don't think there's much difference, with Max Douglas's job as a second row compared to as a blindside. He is that.
I think he's solid.
Man, he just battles through everything. Another brilliant addition to this team, and a young man himself. He could easily be here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, which would be brilliant so long as Australia stay away from him.
And to be fair to him, when we signed him, people were taking the piss. I remember people were like, "Oh, you've signed this skinny Australian second row. How's that going to go for you?" Well, pretty well, as it turns out. No one was jealous of Max Douglas when he signed. I bet they're bloody jealous now.
Yeah, I mean, didn't the opposing sign a skinny, Australian second row that we yet to see? But,
I honestly don't know, but
he'll come down our way.
But yeah, here's a question for you: has Alex Craig been not as good this year, or is it just because the players around him have been better? He doesn't stand out as much.
I don't think he has hit the heights of last season. I don't think he's far off. To your point, yeah, the players around him are much better.
The standard has risen, hasn't it? So I think everyone is on his level now, or like as good as he was last season.
Yeah, I mean, we can quite easily have any second row combination between him, Lousy, and Douglas. Jack Price, when he's been called upon, has been brilliant as well. The game he started, which I think was Zebra, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, looks like that was the one. He was outstanding, carrying for fun and just making tackles. Like he's doing grapes on the side of a pitch, like he was just going for fun. Which in terms of progression of our own players, that's another brilliant point to look at.
Cool. I think that's all I had on the Dragons game. The stats weren't particularly interesting. We had 100% scrum success again, and we scored more points.
Yeah.
Do you think we spoke about this last time I was on, right? Joe Roberts. Do you think is he deserving of that starting spot?
Yeah,
I think
because I know you guys love him. I do, but I don't think he's the best. 12 we have.
13.
13, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think if you look at things like what Max Page has done so far this season, I don't think I've ever seen Joe Roberts do anything like that ball in hand, like the tries he's scored. But I think Joe Roberts' defense is another level. I think his defense is absolutely elite.
He is a defensive juggernaut, and you can go, oh, he's had a quiet game in attack. Look at what he does in defense. I mean, we've had games against World Cup winners, and he's put them in his back pocket and he just carried them all game. That is what Joe does. He is a defensive juggernaut. He's got brilliant hands, and he looks to still have top end pace, which is brilliant as well.
I think he is a little bit rusty, obviously, as expected. That's what I'm saying. Should he be an impact 13?
No. Okay. We've got two impact centres. One is playing for Llandovery and the other is Johnny Williams. And right now, not starting Johnny Williams, you're going to be scratching your head at. But you've got to make the decision. I think any combination of Eddie, Joe, and Johnny to start is brilliant. But if you're going to use one of them off the bench, it's going to be Johnny.
Yeah, but like I said at the start, we're just spoiled with choice for centres, so we can't really complain who's playing.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so shall we move on to our women's team?
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, we shall. So, Brithan Thunder up in almost the Highlands of Scotland to Edinburgh, and
you could have gone and watched them, Mark.
Yeah, I almost did, to be honest with you. I almost did, but there we are. So last season's game was at the Park. 22-17 loss. This time around at Hive, 22-15 loss. So I don't want to tell people that that's not progress. It is a massive progress on the games we played against Gwalia.
I was really nervous going into this because Edinburgh looked amazing against Glasgow, which we might now, looking at Glasgow's other results, it kind of like maybe Glasgow just aren't that good. Sorry, Glasgow. But
are they still yet to win a game, Glasgow, in this competition?
Yeah, they got hosed by Wolfhounds, absolutely destroyed by Wolfhounds.
What do you expect?
But there's beat and there's beat. But So I was nervous about this. I thought we could be up against it here, and we did. We were nilled in the first half again. All our points came in the second half.
Well, all I want to say is that first probably 15 to 18 minutes, apart from a bit of accuracy in the year 22, we were outstanding. We handled everything. Our attack was going forward. It was lovely to watch. We let in some soft tries, which is really sad. But we looked a hell of a lot more structured, a lot more coached than we had done in the first two games against Gwalia. And like I said last week, we use these two games as a warm-up, as a pre-season, because we haven't had one. And it really does look that way, because the performances against Gwalia look like, I don't know, maybe a 2 or 3 out of 10, and this is closer to a 6-7. So, even though it's a loss, it's a bonus point away from home. good performance. I'm happy with this one.
Yeah, I think, but we've come to the end of the game, and it's like, oh, well, that was all right actually. And I think I agree with you. I think we're maybe starting from a lower point, certainly obviously than Gwalia, but maybe some others. But I think by game 6 or 7 in this league, we'll start to be clicking by then. Because I think we're at times I get the sense that we're trying to run before we can walk.
Yeah, like my only issue right now is what do we do? We've got a double header. Well, sort of a double header. There's a gap in between against the Wolfhounds now. First at the Park this coming Saturday. Is it this Saturday or is it Sunday? I gotta double check that. It says the 11th on my screen. I believe that's the Saturday, so I'm gonna go with the Saturday. We know we like to make mistakes on games on this one, but
no, it is Saturday.
If these two games would have come, maybe round 7 and 8, or even round 6 and 7, I would be a lot more comfortable seeing how we are progressing. I don't think we're going to get much change out of Wolfhounds. If we're able to pick up some bonus points, I think that would be brilliant. What I'd like to see more of is a bit more attacking accuracy, and we could quite easily have got 6-7 tries against Edinburgh. We should have had 2 tries to the good in the opening 15 minutes of that game. So a bit more accuracy, in the red zone, a few more tries on the board. Focus on ourselves, because the Wolfhounds, they do seem a level above again.
Yeah. Bless you.
Any last thoughts on Britton, my friend?
No, just obviously a much better game. I thought the centres looked good again, worked well again. I thought hashtag hing on the wing
like that
looked good again, and a better performance from the pack as well.
Better performance. Okay, so am I safe to move on to the community?
Yes.
Yes, I am. Okay, so I am going to move on to the community, but I just got a couple of things to touch on first. So the junior academy, I should say, is back in action now. Our under-18s had a double header this past Sunday up at Churchbank in Llandovery against Travelling Ealing Trailfinders. 2 games, one was at 3, one was at 5. And we came away with an aggregate 66 points to 12 win over the 2 games, 40 points to 7 in the first.
I didn't know that. I hadn't seen the scores. I didn't expect that. I thought Ealing.
It was hell of a points difference.
I thought Ealing would be scary.
Well, yeah, you would. They they are a powerhouse in their area. So to see our under-18s doing that, obviously the 40 points to 7, you can guess who started at 10 in that game. But yeah, 40 to 7 and then 26 to 5. To hold them out to 1 try in each game.
Wow, that is impressive.
That's awesome. We've spoken with Scott Snedden and Tom Phillips on another pod last week. If you haven't already checked it out, amazing insight into our academy.
Everybody already has checked it out, Mark. It's drowning in views.
There's probably 3 or 4 more people that still haven't seen it. They need to see it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, guys.
Oh, cheers, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. No, it is awesome. Every time I get a chance to speak, especially with Scott, it is his insight of the game, his care, his passion, especially for the players and the young players, it's unreal. This is a guy that I think we could be seeing, possibly higher national level. Now he's Wales under-20s at the minute. He's a transition coach for us. Great talent. So yeah, listen in if you haven't already. It's great to hear what's going on in the academies. So that was our warm-up game for the defence of our RAG under-18s championship. The first round is this coming weekend, but there's 5 teams. There's the 4 regions plus RGC. So this is our bye week. So no under-18s action. As far as aware. But don't worry, there will be more under-18s action next week. We can talk about that then. We can just discuss how we're going to smash through everyone, just like we did last season. They've added a semi-finals and a final this year, so we'll just walk through them as we do, because it's what we do. And we'll have another championship to celebrate on the 3rd of February. So,
Cohen Jones will have another hour's worth of his highlight reel.
they're probably not even going to they're probably not going to record his games now, saying we need to protect this boy. He's just waiting to have highlight reels like this. But no, okay, the other game I need to talk about before I get into the community is for anyone going to watch Scarlets against Gloucester on Friday. If you were staying in Gloucester on the Friday night, do not go home early on the Saturday. At 2 o'clock on the Saturday, Llanelli Warriors are playing, I want to say Long Levens or Long Levens. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm really sorry. So that's a 2 o'clock kickoff. Their ground, this is a clubhouse address. I'm assuming the pitch is next to it. It looks like on Google Maps. Postcode is GL29EU, or if you're in the centre of town, is it town or city? It's a city, isn't it? Yeah, I'll call it a city.
Town. It's got a cathedral.
Yeah. So yeah, been told bus number 97 or 98. They're every half hour, 10 past the hour, 22 the hour. It's literally one stop, 10 minutes away. Go support the Warriors. They're absolutely amazing. You know what them and the Pembrokeshire White Games are doing for the rugby in a region. It can't be understated. And I'll get some more info for you next week. But there is in the community a deaf rugby camp for, I believe it's under 12s. So I'll get a bit more info on that future. I believe that's on the 21st of January. So I got a bit of time on this one. So now I will finally, if my computer allows new computer, no headphones because it doesn't work. I'm trying to share. Select window or screen. There we go. It's different on this one. There we go. Can we see, boys?
Yes.
Yes. Happy days. Okay. As always, we start in Super Rugby Cymru. Unfortunately, the televised game of Carmarthen Quins down in Pontypool did not go ahead. A frozen pitch, I believe, was the cause of that. We had a lot of boys due to be involved. You know, Gabe McDonald, Charlie Titcombe, Sam O'Connor, Keanu Evans, current football doer, and then Rodri Lewis was named on the bench. So that would have been a good.
Rumours that Pontypool were running out on the pitch with ice packs when they saw Charlie Titcombe on the team sheet are unconfirmed.
And unconfirmed, you don't want to hear what I've heard from the Pool of Faithful.
Just all I'm saying is that Charlie Titcombe was named on the team sheet for Carmarthen Quins, and Pontypool's pitch was frozen. Those two things might be related. They might not be. It's not for me to say.
Who knows? So the other game, we saw Llandovery host Newport. And I've said previously, Llandovery are not getting out of third gear. But the one game they did this season was against Newport. And by God, did they go again. 38 points to 21 winners.
That's a big result. Newport and no mugs.
That's a 6 point, and you know they Llandovery and Newport are both third and fourth in the table at the minute. But these are the two sides that everybody wants to go up against, wants to challenge themselves against. You know, the two teams in first and second, Cardiff and Ebbw Vale. Cardiff have got amazing backs, absolutely amazing backs, and Ebbw Vale have got amazing forwards. But Llandovery and Newport, they can match them both, forwards and backs. These are why these are the boys that you want to test yourselves. These are the markers that you want. So to get a 6 point victory, yes, 6 points in the SRC, an extra attacking bonus point for winning by 15 points or more. Yeah, don't ask. So boys we had involved all started. We had Gabe Hawley, Morgan Jones, Ed Scragg, Jack Davis. I want to say he was at fullback. Yes, he must have been.
I think he was on the wing. Was he? I think he was on the wing.
So he bagged a try. First try of the game, I believe. Well, definitely first try for Llandovery. And then there was this little young lad. He hadn't played at all for Llandovery this season by the name of Max Page. He just turned up and scored a hat-trick for fun. So, again, anyone who hasn't listened to the Snedden, Tom Phillips chat, now Snedden very plainly said, if you were a professional player dropping down into the SRC, you have got to be the best player on that pitch. And people tell you, if you know, that's the standard we hold you to. My God, Max Page must have listened to that and taken it to heart because he went for it. He did. So, no games for either our SRC brethren this coming week. There are some Wales under 20.
Sorry. Can we just add honourable shout out for RGC's win? I thought that was a hell of a result.
Okay, we will shout out to RGC. And for anyone who does listen to the SRC podcast, RGC sneaking there, not sneaking there, they really held in there. 41-39 at home to Evervale. You give me a perfect week in my predictions. It would have been even better when Kamar and Quinn's, smashed the ball, but, we didn't get that. So I'll take 4 from 4. No games this week. Wales under-20s playing Welsh academies. I want to say that's an under-23s squad for the academies due to the age, but there might be a few older boys who stand out to me. So make that. Up next, we've got the Premiership. Newcastle Emlyn 59-24 losers down in Cardiff Met. Ouch. Llangennech 16-19 down at home. Bargoed, respectable. Llangennech are flying the flag for us this year. And Narberth 15-14 winners at home to Ystrad Rhondda. Narberth are coming back. I'm telling you now, it's happening. But it's not happening this weekend because they've got a bye. Llangennech are travelling to Newbridge and Newcastle Emlyn are at home to Bonamine. That could be a game for Newcastle Emlyn to target. Over into Championship West, Ammanford, the only team we care about in action, 56-34 winners at home against Dunvant. Schlefty Wanderers cricket games, both away games, conveniently. What I will say about Ammanford, since they've had T and Sparrow in their pack, they look a completely different animal. I don't know if it's the young boy himself or something. They've got another amazing talent in there playing the 10, Sam Potter. He's not long come through our junior academy. Played some games for Llandovry as well. So there's a lot of good talent in Ammanford, and it's amazing to watch they run. Clearly Wanderers, I did tag him at the start of the year to win this league. But, Ammanford, they're outsiders right now. They're pushing into that top 3, top 4. Games for this week: Crymych at home to Estalavera, Schlefty Wanderers at home to Tondi, Ammanford travelling to Trebanos, down into 1 West, and Buryport edging 24-23 at home to Aberystwyth. The boys from Aber get to travel back, just a bonus point, but it'll do for now. Tenby continue their undefeated league domination, 35-7 at Wellinville going down 27-17 away from Islet. Hendy winning 39-0 at home to St. Clair's. I have no idea what happened now and did not expect a result like that for St. Clair's. So on to this week, Tenby are travelling to Aberystwyth. I keep getting tongue-tied today, I don't know why. Tenby are travelling to Aberystwyth. Feel free to jump in and chat if you want, boys. I don't mind. Wellinville at home to Hendy, Kidwelly at home to One Islet, Buryport travelling to Pencloud, and St. Clair's at home to Pontydylis. 2 West Central, no games for Bryn Aman this week, but they are travelling away to Resolvan this coming Saturday. So 2 West now, Betos against Whitland was postponed. Lampeter with a bye, 90 leagues, yay. Carmarthen Athletic 28-10 winners over Fishguard. Larne 19-7 winners at home over Milford, and Nantgaredig playing out a 19-all draw away to Lacha. I'm hearing rumours that final conversion went over the post, but the linesman was from Lacha, so it didn't count. So, who knows? Games for this week: we've got Fishguard at home to Lacha, Lampeter travelling to Milford, Nantgaredig at home to Larne, Whitland hosting Carmarthen Athletic with Betos getting the bye. 3 West, Kev Nathan against Abereyron postponed. So sad to see those games. It really hurts my heart. Cardigan 76-0 winners over. That's just wrong. Armagh United, they dropped down as well this season. They won 3 West or whatever, like 3 West A or something 2 seasons ago. After 2 West, back down to 3, and now lose 76-0. What's going on, boys? Come on, you can't all be doing a 10 Iron, man. That's not this week. That was your excuse last season. Tumble winning 22-16 away to Llandilo. Llangadog 56-31 winners at home against Pontyberem, and De Croix winning 14-10 at home against Haverford West. Games for this Saturday: Abereyron at home to Llandilo, Llangadog travelling to Armagh United, Haverford West hosting Kev Nathan, Pontyberem hosting De Croix, and Cardigan travelling to Tumble. Almost there, boys. 4 West A. Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau 32-7 winners over Langham. Crych Tyrone 23-30 winners away to Llanfair. Narberth Athletic 36-0 winners at home to St. David's. Come on, St. David's, we love you. Please pick up. Neyland 41-3 winners over Pembroke Harlequins, and Pembroke had the bye. So games for this week: Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau hosting Crych Tyrone, Narberth Athletic travelling to Pembroke. Pembroke Dock Harlequins hosting Llanybydr, Neyland travelling to St David's, and Langham with the bye for West B. Furness winning 29-14 at home to Pantyfynnan. New Dock Stars against Llandybie postponed. I'm really sorry, Hugh, but no 5 points this week.
Why was it postponed?
I don't know, maybe
frozen
pitch. Maybe the council had hit into one of them bloody water pipes again and flooded it again and decided not to pay for it. But it's still Dock thing. It's what you expect.
I reckon the opposition just didn't fancy it.
You never know. Okay, last 2 games, Pennybank 26-0 winners at home to Pinya, Pontiac 36-35 winners at home to Fall Bay. Sounds like a cracker. So games for this week: Pinya at home to New Dock Stars, Tregaron travelling to Fall Bay, Llandybie at home to Furness, Pantyfynnan at home to Pontiac. One last game, and it's in the Division 4 Cup. Trimsaran travelling to Ferndale. I don't know why we're still trying to play this game. Ferndale were 10-0 up in the 74th minute, way back in, early mid-December. I don't know why they've had to replay this game. I know it would mean Trimsaran going out, but if you're playing a game to 74 minutes and you're winning by 2 scores, why? Well, not even if you're winning by 2 scores, if you're winning at all, why are you replaying it? So they tried to replay it this week, I'm assuming. More frozen pitch action, and they're going for it again. But this time they've got no choice but to play it because the next round is on the 18th. And that rounds up my community game, boys. Whew, that was a mouthful, and we're already approaching the hour. Oh.
Well, we're about to go over the hour. We're about to go over the hour because we've had a letter.
Oh no, why?
He just keeps sending them in. It's from Jack from Lucker. He says this: Dear Saucepans and Sidesteps, frauds. Once again, you have to be content with only beating teams that you are better than, and scoring needless length of the field tries. Where exactly are your honourable draws? Yours, Jack from Lucker. P.S. Your draw doesn't count.
Well, I'm not surprised that our draw doesn't count, because it shouldn't count, because it should be a big, bad win on the board. Yeah, Jack, go do one back. I'm sick of you by this point. I haven't got anything better to do than to send letters to his home address, which, by the way,
he just wants to drag us all down to his level, doesn't he? So.
That's what they all want to do, I'm sure. Hey, I'm assuming he's left his number on one of these letters by now, surely. Come on.
Mark, whenever you lean back, I can't hear you anymore.
You can't hear me anymore. Well, I'm saying surely Jack has left his number on one of these letters, or at least a return to sender address, something, so we can.
Is he like the Zodiac killer, where like he leaves clues every week?
I think he lives. I'm pretty sure he lives under the Lucker Bridge.
Yeah.
And he murders any goats.
He could be the Zodiac killer. You never know.
we only see him a couple times a day. When the sun is shining right, the tide is finally out.
The sun doesn't shine there, man. Jeez.
Outside, come on.
Yeah, always signs on the park, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scorro. It's all it ever does. So that brings us on to probably our last subject, which is a small European Cup game at Queen's Home. I'm calling it Queen's Home because that's where the most successful team.
Yeah, the best team from Gloucester plays at Queen's Home.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, is it? Am I right on that count?
Yeah.
But you boys, I'm assuming at least one of you are going to it. So
I'm going. Are you going, Ben?
I'm going, yeah.
Are you in the shed?
I am in the shed.
Cool. I'll stand next to
well,
you.
we're gonna get a Ben and Hugh combination. I wonder if that's going to go with that.
We'll vlog each other. I'll film you filming me. I'm
having a bit of like a full all day with my mates because it's like my birthday weekend. So when I see you, I might be a bit, loud,
to the wind.
louder than I am now.
We're going to come back on Monday. I was going, it was great meeting you on the weekend. Well, what are you on about?
Yeah.
If you're not lucky enough to be in the shed on Friday at 8 o'clock, the game is live on Premier Sports. Thank God for that. I believe every single one of our games now is live on some form of platform for the rest of the season.
From what I've seen, there's a lot of fans going up from what
Yeah,
I've
it's,
seen.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of chat.
we'll have a good turnout, I think.
yeah, there's more people going to this one than traveling, 10, 12 miles down the road.
Yeah,
Whatever that, I can't remember what that one was called anymore. Like, no, it's
yeah.
looking after Eton or what it is in the near future.
I
Anyway,
was there, and it was like the library. It's like being in the library. It was.
there we go. So we've seen a lot of media, not speculation, more admiration for a very simple chip chase try by a certain Gloucester #9.
Former
So,
Cardiff player.
former Cardiff player. So how you actually
Like
watched
most of
some
them
of that game?
players, actually. So yeah, lots of familiar names in that Gloucester team. None less than Josh Hathaway, who
I was.
obviously Scarlets Academy player. Um, yeah, and obviously there being no URC at the weekend, uh, the the only action was Premiership action. So there was loads of clips of this Gloucester game going around. So Scrum 5 basically live tweeted the Gloucester game as a Welsh game because they got that many Welsh players playing for them. So they had Thomas Williams, Gareth Anscombe, Max Llewellyn, Josh Hathaway all in their starting back line. And yeah, they had a win over Sale. So Gloucester fifth in the Prem. They're scoring. The thing about Gloucester is, in the URC, most teams, bar one or two, play a style of rugby that you would see at international level, or at least try to do it. So they play like textbook rugby, if you like to call that. If you were to write a book on how to play rugby, most teams in the URC play like that. Whereas in the English Premiership, there's a few teams that throw the book out the window, let's just do whatever. And Gloucester are one of those teams. Gloucester and Bristol are the two teams. Gloucester are one of the teams that just plays kind of vibes rugby. So they're averaging at the moment 28 points scored per game, 26 conceded. They've scored the third most tries, and they've got 7 try bonus points from their 10 games in the Premiership so far. They got 3 from 5 wins at home, and at home they're averaging 29 points scored, 23 conceded, and they've got try bonus points of 4 out of their 5 home games in the Prem. They played against Edinburgh in their first Challenge Cup game, and I think it was something like 15-10. So they didn't maintain that against Edinburgh, and Edinburgh are so in the URC. But the thing about Gloucester is that they take risks. They take risks that a lot of teams in the URC wouldn't. They will run from anywhere. So I think they exit their own 22 via carries, relatively high compared to everybody else. I can't find the exact stat now. Oh, here we go. 33% of their exits from their own 22 is carries. Most people, when they're in their own 22 kick. Gloucester, a third of the time, run, or at least try and run.
They did score from there 22, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was pathetic defense. Come on, surely you've seen that try. Obviously, besides the forward pass, we won't talk about that. We'll pretend that was flat at least. But that was a shocking defense.
They don't pass short or close at all, really, or move close or tight. They pass long. And they pass wide, so they go wider than the first receiver. I think second most of anyone in Europe. And yeah, they basically they chuck it about. Like I said, it's not something that you'll see a lot of in the URC. So that it's going to be a test that we haven't come up against yet so far this season. They're not going to be like any other team that we've played, which I think is quite interesting for us. I did watch most of the second half of that Gloucester versus Sale game. I have to say that I thought Sale were terrible. Like the tries of the Gloucester scored are getting lots of views and things, but it doesn't tell the story of the fact that Sale were pretty shocking in this game. And I think one area that we can really target Gloucester is at the line out. So they've got 80% success of line out, which is relatively low. We're obviously got the best line out in Europe at the moment, the Scarlets. They don't steal opposition ball at the line out at all. I think they've got something like 5% stolen opposition ball. Very they don't go for that, and they don't particularly like to maul it either. So I think that's one area where we could have the upper hand, where we could target. Like to know if Albert van den Berg is doing some research on their lineup, because I do think that line out and maul time is somewhere where we could hammer home an advantage. They And like I said, they like to throw it around and they do like to score some attractive tries, but they do give teams opportunities. Like I said, they average conceding 26 a game and they're mid-table in the Premiership. So basically they go out and they jouer and sometimes it comes off and sometimes it doesn't. And they, even in this game, they gave some opportunities to Sale. Like I think what they're either their last or their second last. No, it's the second last try. Maxwell in it was an intercept, and up until that point, Sale had been within a score, and that's like I said, with Sale playing badly, particularly badly. I thought there were some players on Sale's team that had poor performances. So, and they score 61% of their tries in the first half,
There we
which
go. So hold them out.
So what you're saying is we have a chance.
yeah,
No,
I
what
think
you're
we have
saying is we're winning
Yeah.
easily.
I think we have a chance. I think there's weaknesses of them that we can exploit, but the nervousness comes from me in terms of we're not used to playing teams like that. We're not used to playing teams that will have a go from their own 22. You don't, apart from the Lions, there are no teams like that in the URC. So
Yeah. I mean, for me, watching what limited, footage I do have of them, I'm not paying for TNT. I'm not that rich. Is like you said, they do gift a lot of opportunities, and I can see us, especially with how our defense is going, and off the back of that dragon, I can see a lot of transition ball. I can see us making a lot of good headway. Strong up defense and just work on transition, and then if they throw in, medium to long passes more or less every single time. We've seen Johnny, Joe, Eddie, Cowdor, even Sammy on occasion. We've seen these boys pick up offloads for fun. This is, especially Cowdor, it is what he does. And I think not that he'll have a point to prove because he doesn't want to play for Wales anymore, but I think he'll have a bit of a chip on his shoulder to go, look, all right, Thomas, you're okay, but I'm still better than you. Move on.
yeah,
He's done that more than once, though, hasn't he? When we played
That's what
Cardiff.
his career. He's done it with everyone. He's done it with the boys older than him. He's done it with the boys younger than him.
Yeah.
It is simply what he does.
I think we need to play for Fita and Lousy, I think, for that transition ball and getting the ball out quick. I think having those two guys there would disrupt play quite a bit.
they do tackle low, particularly. Everyone by low is below the hips. They particularly stand out as a team that tackles lower than most, which does open up opportunities for offloads.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost my train of thought now. I'm really sorry, boys. Talk about something. I'll remember it in a moment.
It may be my fault. I cut across you then.
Well, for me, you're talking about Fafita and Lousy. I'd like to maybe see us. It's a shame if Dan Davis isn't fit, and maybe dual open sides might be a way to go because they're not that fussed about the ruck. So if we could potentially get some turnover ball at the ruck, that would be good. Mind you, we haven't scored many tries off transitions this year.
What did we see in the last week?
Well, yeah, there was one there, but we don't tend to. That's a bit of an outlier.
We do make good ground. We do tend to. Obviously, we're not scoring a lot of tries of transition. We do make a lot of ground.
Yeah, and the other thing about a team that plays in their 22 is they don't like to get into kick duels. So there's a chance if Sammy tries to initiate a kick duel with them, and they're just going to run it back, which, like I said, no one in the URC would do that. So maybe Yohan Lloyd might be more suited to this game. This might be, obviously, it's a synthetic pitch in Gloucester. It might be a kind of night for him. In terms of their star players, Max Llewellyn has got 10 try involvements. He's been playing on the wing lately. So obviously he plays 13 for Wales. He's not, I don't think he's an out-and-out winger. And I think if he does come up against Tom Rogers or Blair Murray in that wing channel, I think they could get a bit of change out of him because it's not his natural position, in my opinion.
Yeah, is he playing left or right, or is he just switching between them?
Right, I think.
So there we go. You'll have Murray to contend with. Murray will stand circles around him, given the opportunity.
Other players you've got to look out for Gloucester is Zach Mercer. He is everything to them. Zach Mercer is, if wherever he's standing is where the ball is going, basically. He's their talisman. And Ludlow as well. He's their best carrier. Sorry, not best carrier, best tackler. So he's probably a name that we'll hear a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, something that everyone needs to remember, especially when we're looking at English sides, is that when you're in the URC best league, by the way, you are playing opposition who are 10th best in their position in the country, first, second, third. You go into the English Premiership, you could be playing someone who's 25th, best in their position in the country. The standard is not as high in the URC when you're talking, individual opposition
in the Prem.
Thank you. So I don't honestly. There's some great rugby to watch over there, no doubt about that. But I think there is a clear standard difference right now, especially with the way the URC is building. I'll be honest. Dragons are winning against teams over there. I mean, what does that tell you? Like, I know it's a poor team, but if the Dragons are getting wins against
they beat
English,
Newcastle away, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're winning there. We go away from home as well.
Yeah, but Gloucester seem to win at home though, don't they? Have they got a streak going?
Three out of 5 at home.
Okay.
And their one Challenge Cup game they won at home as well. They do score a lot of tries, so we're going to have to rack up a few points to win this one. I don't think we're going to keep them. They're going to score a couple of tries. I don't think we're going to keep them to below 10. And so we're going to have to, I think, get well over 25 points to win this game. I wouldn't be against seeing Fafita and Lousy playing together as a combo. I wouldn't be against seeing Johan Lloyd in this one. Max Page might be a shout as well, because there are going to be opportunities, there are going to be spaces, and they are, like I said, they are going to take risks. So I think, I'm not saying fight fire with fire, but if we're going into this expecting them to play like Munster, they're not going to play like that. So it's going to be a unique challenge for us.
Yeah, I mean, we've just so improved on so many different fronts that I do think this is going to be not as comfortable as the Dragons, but we are going to win with a bit of breathing space.
They do have heritage in the Challenge Cup as well. Gloucester 5 finals.
How many wins?
2.
Not bad. I mean, anyone who's listened to these podcasts from the beginning, when it was just me and Lee talking about Scarlets and some lonely Pembrokeshire rugby clubs, you'll know that we had issues with Josh halfway leaving back then. So it'll be nice to show him what he can come home to in a year or two's time.
Yeah, Josh, come on. This is who you can be back up to.
Basically, that is what we're talking about. They don't worry me. Like I said, I do have limited footage, and obviously the stats that you're saying do play a bearing, but I'm just thinking this is against other English opposition.
They worry me because they're home. I think that's where my...
And their crowd is rowdy. Their crowd will influence the ref. They have a rowdy home crowd.
I saw the highlights of that game, and the crowd was bouncing. It was loud.
But
so
just like I said to you, we're probably expecting, I'd say, at least 400, maybe if not more, of our own up there. And
I think it'd be more. I think it's more.
I think it's more than that.
There's a few bus trips I've seen going up. There's quite a few.
All of you stuck in together. It doesn't matter if there's another 12, 15,000 Gloucester fans here. It's what we do. We sing our hearts out and we make our presence known. And I don't think the hostile atmosphere is going to play a part in this one. So I'm not going to say we're going to nil them, because that'd be a bit cruel, wouldn't it? Yeah. But,
the most points we've conceded in a game so far this season is 24.
Connacht?
Yeah, 24.
24, 23.
And Connacht and Cardiff.
That game.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to concede that many. I could probably see them going for 3 a few times if I'm totally honest. Because
we did that at Glasgow. Glasgow never go for the 3, and we made them go for the 3. So
that's true.
If there's any team to do it too.
What am I thinking? Go on, I'll go. 26-17. Scarlets win.
Oof.
Always a Scarlets win.
I mean, yeah, I know we make a habit of calling Scarlets the winners, but I think we could win. But I don't think it's going to be as wide as that. I
Oh,
think,
come on, be positive, Ben. Come on, cheer up, boys.
let's say, I don't know, 29-25
Oh,
to
that's too tight.
Scarlets.
That's too tight. Archie's near the end. Score,
Genuinely, I'm expecting to hold my chest for the final 10 minutes as
Yeah.
usual, and probably looking
Faith.
at Hugh going, help. This is too much for me. Because all my mates, because every time I go down to watch the Scarlets, I'm stood there going, I can't relax. Like apart from the Dragons and the Black Lion game, I could, but the rest of the games can't relax. So it'd be the
Yeah,
same for
I
this.
don't think it's going to be relaxing. I think
No, it's
I
going to be
do think
tough.
Gloucester are going to score 2 or 3, and I do think we're going to need 4 or 5 to
I
beat them.
think they're going to score early. I think we're going to be chasing the game for a bit. We
Yeah.
always do it to me. We let that first, second try in, and then we start like, you know.
Oh, this is meant to be a positive podcast. What are you
You were
doing?
Sorry,
you
sorry.
started this podcast slagging us off for winning by 30.
Yeah, you were saying, oh,
Yeah, you were
we're
saying it's not
disappointed
good
that we've won
enough.
by so
That is
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
positive, though. It is positive saying we should be better.
Sorry, I was the one that said, uh, but I don't know. I feel like I prefer to be like, you know, not expecting it and then winning than expected to win and then losing. That's the way I feel about the Scarlets. And that because of last season, because I was going down every last season going, we're gonna lose this. Yeah.
Oh, winning everything. We should have
No,
won
I'm
everything.
going. I think I'm going to pick every game Scarlets by 2 this season.
I think he'd be right. I think it's gonna be
That's just
that
poor
close.
show. That's poor showmanship. Come on, where's the belief, my friends? We Scarlets. We win every game. It's what do we do?
To
All
be
right.
fair, I didn't believe you the Bulls won, and yeah, I was glad you
Yeah.
did say, and we won
I
that.
am the Messiah. Look, I've been called Jesus. I've been called a name. So you gotta believe me.
Let's
Uh,
believe then. Let's go for it.
do we have anything else on the agenda, Mr. Griffin?
Well, there was a couple of things. There was the halfway point of the season, and there was also we're not sure if we get another podcast out before the Wales squad is announced.
So
When does that get announced? Is it next week?
some point next week, we believe.
Yeah,
So it
it's
could be
normally on a
Wednesday or
Monday.
something.
It's
Oh,
normally on a
okay.
Monday,
Okay.
so we would probably miss it.
So should we do a quick prediction?
Well, let's talk about who's nailed on. Who's definitely getting picked for Wales? Henry Thomas,
Yes.
Tame Plumtree,
Yes.
Sam Costello,
Yes.
Eddie
Eddie
James,
James,
Tom Rogers.
Blair Murray.
Yeah, they're the ones who were in
Yeah.
the autumn, and you'll be surprised to see them drop. Now, Josh Adams is back, so there's
Mm.
probably a winger going to drop out, and it's probably between. I can't see him dropping Blair Murray after him playing every minute of every game in the autumn. That would be something. But someone will drop out. So if it's not one of our boys, it'll be Hathaway, I guess, who drops out.
Yeah, that
Uh,
makes sense.
yeah. Also, Liam Williams is back as well, so it's going to be competitive in that back three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Sanjay, if I'm honest.
No,
And I want
I don't think we should be. I don't think we've got the depth to be over a
No.
player like Sanji. Who else could get in? Well, we don't know.
Johnny.
Joe, I think Joe will get picked. I don't think he's been at his peak in the last few games, but I
I think
think
Johnny
Gatlin,
could. He's very, he's a Gatlin player, isn't he? He likes the crash ball, big player.
Yeah, we're slowly moving away from that, but we don't know who's leading.
You
that
keep
call.
saying that, but they go back to it all the time. You trying to.
I
Giving us
don't know what
big.
they're going to do with 12 now because they've been
Yeah.
flicking between Playmaker and Crash Ball through the whole of last year. So
Yeah.
I've got absolutely no
Swap
idea what they're going
back
to
and
do.
forth every game.
Johnny Williams does both. So does Eddie
Yeah.
James.
Exactly.
Yeah, Eddie does both.
They definitely both deserve to be on the sheet.
So yeah, so that's another 2. I think Joe will get picked.
No,
Um,
this is outside field because he was involved in the last Six Nations, but due to the lack of depth, really, we have at 10. Do you think Johan Lloyd has a shout?
no, I
No.
don't think so. I think there's enough players in front of him.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't get picked in the autumn, I
Yeah.
thought I thought that was a big sign.
Matthias is another one.
Should be in there. Should be
Yeah,
starting.
Yeah, 100%.
he'll get picked. McLeod is a shout. I think the thing that
Yeah,
helps
I think
McLeod, I
so.
think McLeod's best attribute compared to everybody else is his leadership. And I
Hmm.
think with Dewey Lake going down, they need another leader in there. And I think Josh has shown fantastic leadership for us this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can see Josh and Jack Morgan working in tandem like they have done previously. We know that partnerships work. We've seen it in the past. I think both players obviously have improved since those days. I was quite
I
disappointed when Josh didn't get picked for the autumn.
I do
He.
selfishly don't want him to be picked though.
Oh no, I don't want anyone to be picked.
Oh yeah, he'll get
Yeah.
injured on like the Tuesday.
Yes, I mean, especially after the year he's had.
I
Stay
quite
with us, Josh. If they do call you up, say no.
Yeah, just be like, nah, Scarlets. Stay with them.
That's what
nah,
Carbo's doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I quite happily have zero Scarlets in the Welsh squad. Especially with games to play during this break.
Mm.
Uh,
Two outside shouts who like properly outside shouts left field. Obviously, Max Page is one who we've tipped a couple of times. Is just because he's been training with Wales. He's been invited to train on the last couple of
Yeah.
ones as
But he
well.
hasn't had much region, game time, so
No, and not since the autumn either, to be fair.
no.
And then I do think Ellis Me is the kind of player that
Mm.
Gatland would like.
I
He's
hope.
big, and
I
He's big.
really hope not because it'd be great for him a personal accolade and all that. But quite honestly, if all of our back three players are fit and firing, he doesn't make our starting 15. Tommy Lewis takes that place, and
yeah.
Ellis Me, yeah, he's 21. He's got a long way to go. We could very well see him back in the SRC at some point this season.
And like I said, the back three is stacked. Not a full back, but that's why I think Tom will get in because he covers full back.
Yeah.
But
And he impressed in the autumn,
yeah.
so I think he will.
Anyone else? No, I don't think anybody else really. So I think we'll see a good 6 in.
Yeah, like I said, if Elias is fit, he's in as well.
I can imagine him picking Elias because hooker is such a problem position at the moment. I think
For me, it's as long as they're both fit, it's going to be Elias D and then Project Lloyd. That's what's going to be the hooker selection, unless there's another injury in there somewhere, and then probably someone like Sam Parry will pop up.
no, Sam Parry's never getting picked for Wales again.
Depends on the injury.
No chance. After what happened in the summer, no. Gatland won't forgive that on any level. He'll never. Gatland will never pick Sam Parry again. So that's that. And in terms of like to finish up then with season review, halfway through the season, so I did a poll on Twitter, asked everybody what their feelings of the season was so far. I asked whether it had fallen short, met expectations, or exceeded expectations. Currently on Twitter, 63% said exceed expectations, and it's I think more than that on Facebook. What's your guys' feeling?
I mean, I think you already know mine. I'm always Mr. Positive. We won one of the games I expected us to lose. I'll say that much. I did have the Bulls down as a loss at the start of the season. It was Bulls and Glasgow, the only two teams I can accept losses against from the season, especially with seeing how they've played. So, would I have taken 6th at this point at the start of the year?
Yeah.
I probably would have. I'd have been happy. So I'd say met expectations, but realistically, could be a lot better.
I thought you said you were going to be Mr. Positive.
You went straight
You're a
negative,
bloody liar, you are, man.
Met expectations, but
You're
could
an
be
atrocious liar.
positive.
What about you, Ben?
I think, I don't know, if you asked me the start of the season, like if you said this is where we'll be this point, I'd be like, oh, that's amazing. that's better than I could ever imagine. Now, though, halfway through, we should be a lot higher. There's a lot of like decisions we made where we should have gone for the post or for the corner. There's times where I thought like we could win the games. And obviously, I think we should be like third if we won
Well,
1 point games.
everyone we've spoken to at the Scarlets has said we should be third.
Yeah.
Every time I speak to someone at the Scarlets and said, "Oh, that was a good win," they reply with is we should be higher in the table than we are. So I think in the camp, I think they'd say Met just about.
Well, they said at the start of the season, the actual, the higher ups there, and because I went to the supporters meeting, they said, oh, if we're in the top 8, I think that's a great result. And quarterfinal, I think it was the Challenge Cup, and I think we'll exceed that. So when you realistically look at it, I think we will be in the top 8. I'm saying that now, and I
Yeah,
think we will get to a semi-final of the Challenge Cup.
yeah. Like for me, if I'll just run off, these games now, we've got Gloucester, Van, Edinburgh, Munster, Ulster, Stormers, Ospreys, Dragons, Leinster, Lions, Sharks. Munster away. No, that's a tough one. Leinster at home, and then probably Sharks away. I'd say those are 3 games that I can accept losing, but every other game is a winnable match. Even Lions down there, I do genuinely believe
Like
the team.
because Cardiff have got a really tough end of the season as well.
Yeah.
So
You don't want to know what me and who have been discussing.
I haven't. Don't drag me, Andy. I haven't said anything.
Hey, you said you can. I said they can win it 2 games. I said they'll win 2 of the.
You said that. You said that to me. I didn't say anything.
You put a third team in it. That was it. You didn't put any more.
Trying to cancel me like that, honestly.
You're not gonna get cancelled. You're a very neutral person. That's why you're on.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're trying to set me up with your lies.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, I agree. I do. There are games where we've got to the end of the game and I think, oh, we should have won that. And there have been some disappointing losses in there where we have been the better team and lost. But so for me, it's Mets. And the thing that I want to be cognizant of is because last season was so bad, I think the team deserves credit for how much they've turned it around, and the coaches deserve that credit for how much they turned it around. But I don't think we should be overpraising them for being at the level that we should be at.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
And there's a lot of like discipline issues we're giving away too many penalties in certain times of the game, and it's causing us obviously. But that's the thing. You can't. Dwayne shouldn't be going back going, guys, yeah, you were perfect, great. Like, when we're not. So
I don't want to go like, oh, we were terrible last year, but we're decent this year, therefore you're all amazing. It's like, no, you're decent.
Yeah.
But I think the players are giving everything. I don't think there's really any player that I would say has even had a bad game. Maybe like 1 or 2 like moments in games where they've had a shocker, but I don't.
You could tell the youngsters have stepped up this year, though. I think it was last season. Was it last season we had like 16 players leave?
I'll tell you something. We've had in the summer we had legends of the Scarlets leave. We had all-time like if you were picking a Scarlets all-time 15 players of that caliber leave. We haven't missed them.
No. I was speaking to one of the players, can't remember who it was, because they come to the stand-in section at the end of the game, and they said like this season. It might have been Sam, maybe, possibly, or Johan. He said like the younger boys have stepped up because last season they felt like they were all being mentored in the sense of like they couldn't play expansively as they wanted to. And I think they've all pat each other on the back going, let's do this season. I think they're all in the same boat, if you know what I mean, instead of like there's older players there that were, trying to influence and a lot, which is good in certain points. But I think it's the same what happened, I think, in the 2016, 2017 season. All the players were like, let's just go out and play the game of rugby and win, and that's what I think the players are all playing for each other this year.
Yeah, like if you've come through the Scarlets Academy and you go in a dressing room and there's Ken Owens, John Fox, and Scott
Yeah,
Williams in there,
it's
you know,
intimidating.
you're not telling them what to do.
No, no.
Whereas if they're taken out of that room, then I can see that's a lot more freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two sides of the coin. Great players, but it's obviously given some boys a bit of freedom to really express themselves more as leaders and really step up in that kind.
I think it's just a lot of like people, like I said, in the same boat, and they all want to crack on and get it done, instead of, they're trying to get played in front of Lions, isn't they, at the end of the day last season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
what's sorry, go on, Mark.
yeah, like something we've seen this season, which we didn't really have last year, is we do have now a core of probably 30, 32, 33 players that can really step into the 23. And we know the standard's not going to drop massively. It's something that, when we've spoken, people within the Scarlets, there's a massive, absolute massive emphasis on this transition group, on the boys, playing SRC, pushing on the door. They are doing everything they can to bring these boys up to that level. So, we're seeing, I think we're seeing that pay out just because, when we have an injury, well, we're not having many injuries, but when we've had the likes of Max Page to call on, at 19, we've had Ellis Me, 21,
Yeah.
These boys have just come in and just boom. I know Ellis Me is a new signing, but Max Page certainly isn't. He's been in our system since he was 14, 15. So,
every game he's played, he's made an impact, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
100%.
certainly
Scored in
an
most of
attack
them.
threat. Yeah. He is a massive, massive attacking threat. And
he scored against Benetton, didn't he, in the first game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great try.
It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up, because he is a short guy for a
Yeah, it's
centre.
interesting that he's played 13 for Llandovery because obviously he's playing on the wing for them last season.
Yeah, he was bouncing around a lot last season. He played 12 and 13 for them.
So quick fire then. Best performance of the season so far.
You got to go with recent memory. You got to go with Manas on New Year's Day.
No, not from player, just the
you
team
mean
as a
game?
team.
Oh, as a team,
Best performance.
Glasgow, yeah. Either Glasgow or Bulls. I'd probably go Bulls.
Yeah, I got Bulls.
Yeah, I go Bulls as well. I think that was a statement performance.
That showed good heart, like.
Yeah. Most disappointing game of the season?
Cardiff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Cardiff.
Especially going up 14-0 up.
Yeah, and the stats for that game was
ridiculous.
That's the most possession and most territory we've had of any game this season, and it's our worst performance. So that shows us the kind of team they're trying to be, because we didn't want to play like that. Player of the season so far?
McLeod for me.
Good shout. I like it.
I think he hasn't been mentioned enough tonight. I think he's, solid. Every game he scored, 5 tries?
6
tries. He's been solid for us this season. I know you would say Manus in the sense of the impact he's made, but I think McLeod has shown that leadership as well. I think that's another thing to add.
If we give it, I don't know. I'm torn, because I've got 3 players in my head that have been big impacts for us this season, and that's obviously Josh is one, Manus, and Max Douglas. I do think those 3.
You picked 3 forwards, man.
It's going to be forwards.
That's not a give.
They're the only ones that do any real work. Come on. I praised Sammy a bit earlier. That's as far as I can go.
Before the autumn, we were all saying that Tane Plumtree was our player of the season so far, and then Marnus, I think, has held the level. I think Marnus has just overtaken him, so it's probably between Tane Plumtree and Marnus for me. Shout out Johnny Williams. I think Johnny Williams has been sensational.
Best back.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to choose between the rest of them. I don't think anyone's been.
Tom Rogers. I think Tom has been good. I think he's been solid, and like I said, every game he's shown his skill and his footwork, and yeah, I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's a lot to prove this season, you know.
Okay, and then one thing that you want to see change in the second half of the season.
No losses.
Game management. Last 20 minutes. I want to see us closing games out instead of going to the 78th minute and going, oh, I'm gonna box kick it now. Like, why? Why are you box kicking it for? Why are you giving the ball back to them? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see. All serious, I think discipline is the one for me. You know, there's areas of our game that we can improve. That is probably the biggest one. You know, we cut the discipline, we cut their position, not their position. Well, we cut their territory, which I think is where we struggle the most, especially we seem to be fine defending lineouts and driving balls, in between the 22s. The odd occasion on our own 5, but yeah, I think we can get that penalty count down. Let's target eight and less a game, and then go from there. I think that'd be a massive improvement.
Yeah.
My one, I'm going to share the screen now. This needs to change. So for audio listeners, it's the graphic showing the game time by scrum halves for the Scarlets this season. Gareth Davis, 83.8% of all the available game time has been Gareth Davis. Archie Hughes on 77.5%, literally less than 1/10. So Gareth Davis has played 10 times as many minutes as Archie Hughes. Now, obviously, Archie's been injured, but we need to start seeing Archie's section of this pie grow in the second half of the season.
It's not even just Archie's, it's Evans as well. Like, he's got 8.8%, but you don't build a squad off a starter and a replacement. You have that third man in there. I've got my own beliefs and systems on how I like to rotate players, etc. But this whole malarkey of Cowdor being 9 for 75, 77 minutes a game, it just needs to end. And like I said previously, I got no problem putting players started and hooking them off after 25, 30 if that's what the game dictates. And that needs to be explained to these players as well.
For the like I said about the legends who left, and we're not missing them, maybe shows that although they're all-time greats who we all love and we'd all be starstruck if we met them, maybe they could have left a season earlier. And I think with Cowdor, he's in that category. And it's a case of it's better to make that change too early than too late. So if you make it next game, could that be too early? It could be, but you're better off making it too early than too late.
Yeah, I mean, like I know I spoke previously. I had the Dragons game down as Archie's first start this season. We now at that, and it hasn't happened. I wouldn't start him up in the shed, but I definitely start him at home at Van, and then I just see what he does, see how he goes. And obviously Cowdor, he's not going to be here next season as far as we're all aware. Apparently, there's an international from Pembroke coming back, but obviously that's confirmed as it stands. So we need both Archie Hughes and Evans Jones playing time to shoot up a fair bit. We need to make sure that we've got stocks ready for next season. And then we got the boys, coming from the SRT below, and we got Rodri Lewis, really chopping at the bit to try and get into that third spot as well.
Yeah. I felt for Evan Jones this season because there's times I thought like Gareth Davis was out on his feet and he still wouldn't bring him on. Because obviously Archie was injured. Yeah, so I don't know why they've got any faith in him or what.
Yeah, it's a weird one because we've seen.
Didn't he start the game though? He started one, didn't he?
Evan, he started buying away. As well with Dwayne being a scrum half, you'd think he'd be all over this.
On the ball with it.
I know how long a scrum half can be on for. I know what's best for the sub. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, when Dwayne was asked in an interview, he goes, "What do you any words? What do you think of Gareth Davis retiring for Wales?" And Dwayne goes, "Yeah, it's great. It means we can play him more here."
Yeah.
So
not 80 minutes though.
Yeah, not 80 minutes, Dwayne.
60 minutes.
Yeah. So that's it for me. I'd like to see more game time given to scrum halves not called Gareth Davis.
Yeah, glad you're correct there. Okay, are we finally finished? Because this
I
has
think
been a
we're
lot.
finally finished.
I apologise to everyone who's
I can't see the time. What is it?
one 135, 140.
Oh,
It's
well.
really
Cool.
long. So I'll put this on the end just for the sake of it. If you're listening to this podcast, you obviously love the Scarlets, so you might as well join Crease 16. We are the Supporters Trust. It's free to join. You get lots of good information. And we've got a monthly newsletter, which I'm proud of. Even though I'm making minimal efforts with it. I'll be honest. But yeah, join Crease 16. It supports the club, supports everyone. And thank you, boys, for doing this with me. We love it. We love talking Scarlets. My hair's a mess. No headphones on. I look rough. Audio viewers, that's just for you. We'll do it all again next week and celebrating at least a 10-point win against Gloucester. I've changed my mind. I'm going up a point. Hugh, Ben, great speaking with you. Catch you again next week. Bye, guys.
Cheers.
That was Saucepans and Sidesteps. Please rate, review and share on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.